The sea whispers, pulling you from a dream of shadows. Your hotel room is still, the notebook on the bedside table heavy with San Vito's secrets. Ricardo's voice lingers, sharp like a blade in the dark. Maria's key, Vito's smirk, Luca's warning, don't trust anyone, amico. Midnight ticks past, and sleep feels far, chased by the familiar's grip. You're no tourist now, you're something else, caught in their web. A knock at the door cuts the silence. Luca's voice, low and urgent. Ricardo needs you, now. The night waits, and San Vito's shadows call.
You're in Italy, San Vito, a small coastal town where time seems to pause. The sun warms your skin as you sit at a cafe, the air thick with the scent of freshly brewed espresso. Cobblestone streets wind past old stone houses, their balconies dripping with red geraniums. The sea hums in the distance, a soft, endless lullaby. You close your eyes, letting the moment sink in. This is your escape, your chance to forget the world for a few days. But then you feel it, a prickle on the back of your neck. You open your eyes. Two men sit at a table across the cafe. They're dressed in dark suits, too sharp for this sleepy town. One, older, with silver hair and lined face, sips his coffee. His eyes meet yours. He smiles, a slow, knowing curve of his lips. You look away, heart quickening, but the feeling lingers. Something's not right. You take another sip of your espresso, the bitter warmth grounding you. The cafe is small, its walls adorned with faded photos of San Vito's fishing boats. A radio plays a soft Italian ballad, the singer's voice curling through the air. You tell yourself it's nothing, just a glance. Tourists get curious stares sometimes. But when you look up again, the older man is still watching. His companion, younger, with a sharp jaw and restless hands, leans in, whispering. They both glance your way.
You shift in your chair, the wicker creaking under you. The cafe owner, a woman with kind eyes and flour-dusted hands, refills your cup. "Buongiorno, amico," she says, her voice warm. You nod, managing a smile, but your attention drifts back to the men. The older one sets down his cup, his movements deliberate. He stands, adjusts his jacket, and walks toward you. Your breath catches. The cafe seems to shrink, the walls closing in. He stops at your table, his shadow falling over you. Up close, his face is weathered but sharp, like a blade dulled by time. His eyes, dark and unreadable, hold yours. "You're the one we've been waiting for, amico," he says. His voice low, accented with the rolling cadence of southern Italy. "No need to play coy." You blink, words tangling in your throat. I think you've got the wrong person," you manage, your voice quieter than you'd like. He chuckles, a sound like dry leaves rustling. "No mistakes in San Vito," he says. "I'm Signor Ricardo, and you," he points a finger, gold ring glinting in the light. "You have a job to do." Your heart pounds. A job? You're a tourist, here for gelato and sunsets, not whatever this is. You glance at the younger man, still at the table, his hand resting inside his jacket. The cafe owner busies herself behind the counter, her back to you. No one else seems to notice. I don't understand, you say, leaning back, the chair scraping against the tile floor.
Ricardo pulls out a chair and sits, uninvited. His presence fills the space, calm but heavy, like a storm waiting to break. It's simple, he says, folding his hands. You take something from me, you deliver it. You walk away. 1 hour, maybe 2. Then you go back to your vacation. The word drips with amusement, as if he knows you're out of your depth. You shake your head. I'm not who you think I am. I'm just enough. He cuts you off, his voice still soft but edged with steel. He reaches into his jacket, and for a moment you freeze, imagining the worst. But he pulls out a small, polished wooden box, no bigger than a pack of cards. He slides it across the table. This goes to the Hotel Marina, room 12. You hand it to the man who answers. No questions, no delays. You stare at the box, its wood gleaming under the cafe's dim lights. It's intricately carved with swirling patterns that catch the eye. Your hands stay in your lap, unwilling to touch it. Why me? You ask, voice barely above a whisper. Ricardo leans closer, his cologne sharp and woody. He says, because you are here, and because I say so. He pauses, letting the words sink in. Refuse, and, well, San Vito is small. No one disappears without us knowing. The threat hangs in the air, quiet but unmistakable. You glance at the younger man again. He's standing now, leaning against the cafe's doorframe, blocking the exit. His eyes are fixed on you, cold and impatient. You swallow, your mouth dry despite the coffee. The radio switches to another song, a slow mandolin tune that feels out of place. What's in the box, you ask, knowing you shouldn't. Ricardo's smile returns, sharper this time. Curiosity is dangerous, amico. Just do the job. He stands, smoothing his jacket. Luca will go with you, keep you safe. He gestures to the younger man who steps forward, his boots clicking on the floor. Luca is lean, his face all angles, with dark hair swept back and a scar cutting through his left eyebrow. He doesn't speak, just nods, his hand still near his jacket. You realize you're out of options. Refusing feels riskier than agreeing, at least for now. You nod, barely, and Ricardo's smile widens. Good boy, he says, patting your shoulder. His touch is firm, a warning wrapped in kindness. He walks back to his table, leaving the box in front of you. Luca stays close, his shadow looming. The cafe owner glances over, her eyes flickering with something, concern maybe, or resignation. She turns away, wiping down the counter. You're alone in this, you realize, even in a room full of people.
You reach for the box, your fingers brushing the smooth wood. It's heavier than it looks, cool to the touch. You slip it into your bag, careful not to jostle it. Luca watches every move, his expression unreadable. "Let's go," he says, his voice rough, the first words he's spoken. He opens the cafe door, the bell jingling above. You stand, legs unsteady, and step into the sunlight. San Vito unfolds before you, narrow streets, laundry hanging from balconies, the distant clang of a bicycle bell. It's beautiful, but now it feels like a trap. Luca walks beside you, his pace brisk, guiding you toward the seafront where the Hotel Marina waits. The box in your bag feels like a weight, pulling you deeper into something you don't understand. The walk is quiet at first, the only sounds your footsteps and the hum of the town. Luca doesn't look at you, his eyes scanning the streets, alert for something you can't see. You try to focus on the details around you, grounding yourself. The air smells of salt and baked bread. A woman sweeps her doorstep, humming softly. A group of children kick a soccer ball down an alley, their laughter echoing. It's so normal, so unlike the fear twisting in your chest. You glance at Luca, his profile sharp against the bright sky. "What's this about?" you ask, keeping your voice low. "The box, I mean."
He doesn't answer right away, his jaw tightening. "Don't ask questions," he says finally, his accent thicker than Ricardo's. "Just walk." You press your lips together, frustration rising. The box shifts in your bag, a reminder of your predicament. The Hotel Marina is still a few blocks away, its white walls and blue shutters visible above the rooftops. You wonder who's waiting in room 12, what they'll do when you hand over the box. You wonder if you'll walk away from this, or if San Vito will swallow you whole. The street narrows, the buildings leaning closer, their shadows cool against your skin. Luca slows, his hand brushing his jacket again. You follow his gaze to a man leaning against a lamppost, reading a newspaper. He's too still, too focused on the page. Luca mutters something under his breath, a word you don't catch. "Keep moving," he says, his voice tight. Your pulse quickens. The man with the newspaper doesn't look up, but you feel his eyes on you as you pass. Luca's pace picks up, his shoulder brushing yours as he steers you down a side street. "Who was that?" you whisper, unable to stop yourself. Luca's eyes flick to you, sharp and warning. "Nobody you need to know," he says. "Focus on the job." The side street is quieter, lined with shuttered windows and peeling paint. A stray dog trots past, its tail wagging. You try to steady your breathing, counting your steps to calm your nerves. 1, 2, 3. The box feels heavier with every step, its contents a mystery you're not sure you want to solve.
You reach the seafront, the Hotel Marina rising before you. It's a modest building, 3 stories, with ivy climbing its walls and a sign swaying in the breeze. The sea sparkles beyond, a deep blue that stretches to the horizon. For a moment, you pause, letting the sight soothe you. But Luca's hand on your arm pulls you back to reality. "Don't stop," he says, guiding you toward the hotel's entrance. The lobby is cool and dim, smelling of lemon polish and old wood. A ceiling fan spins lazily overhead. The receptionist, a young woman with dark curls, glances up from her book. She nods at Luca, her expression neutral, and returns to her reading. You wonder how much she knows, how deep this goes. Luca leads you to the stairs, bypassing the elevator. "Room 12, he says, his voice low. "Knock twice, hand over the box, say nothing." You nod, your throat tight. The stairs creak under your feet, each step taking you closer to whatever waits behind that door. The hallway is narrow, lined with faded wallpaper and brass sconces. Room 12 is at the end, its door plain but heavy, the number slightly crooked. You stop, the box burning a hole in your bag. Luca stands behind you, his presence a weight at your back. You raise your hand, hesitating, and knock twice. The sound echoes, sharp in the silence. For a moment, nothing happens. Then you hear footsteps, slow and deliberate, approaching the door. The lock clicks. The door swings open.
You stand frozen. The door open before you. The man inside a shadow in the dim light. His face is hidden, but his voice, when he speaks, is low and expectant. "You have it?" he asks. Your hand tightens on your bag, the box inside a secret you never wanted to carry. Luca's breath is steady behind you, a reminder that you're not alone, but not safe either. San Vito holds its breath, the sea whispering outside, the town's secrets curling around you. What happens next? Close your eyes. Let the waves carry you. The story will wait until you're ready to step deeper into the shadows.
The door to room 12 swings open, revealing a man cloaked in shadow. His silhouette is tall, angular, his face half hidden by the dim light filtering through heavy curtains. You clutch your bag, the wooden box inside pressing against your side like a secret you never asked to keep. Luca stands behind you, his presence a silent command to move forward. The man in the doorway steps aside, gesturing you in. "You have it?" he asks, his voice gravelly, accented with the sharp edge of Sicily. Your heart thumps, but you nod, stepping into the room. The air is thick with the scent of cigar smoke and old leather. The door closes with a soft click, locking you in this moment, in this world you don't belong to. The man's eyes, now visible, are sharp, like a hawk's, scanning you as if you're a puzzle he hasn't solved. "Let's see it," he says, holding out a hand. You hesitate, glancing back at Luca, who leans against the wall, arms crossed, watching. His scar catches the light, a reminder of the life he leads, one you're now tangled in. You reach into your bag, fingers brushing the carved wood of the box. It feels heavier than before,
as if it carries the weight of San Vito's secrets. You hand it over, your pulse loud in your ears.
The man takes the box, his fingers rough but careful. He doesn't open it, just turns it over, studying the intricate carvings, a vine pattern worn by time. Good, he murmurs, almost to himself. He sets the box on a small table beside a half-empty bottle of red wine and 2 glasses. The room is sparse, a narrow bed, a wooden chair, a window overlooking the sea. But there's something else, a sense of history, of deals made in whispers, of lives changed in rooms like this. Sit, the man says, pointing to the chair. It's not a request. You lower yourself onto the creaking wood, your bag still slung over your shoulder. Luca stays by the door, silent but alert. The man pours wine into a glass, the liquid catching the light like blood. He doesn't offer you any. You're not one of us, he says, not a question, but a statement. Yet here you are. You swallow, unsure how to respond. I'm just delivering, you say, your voice steadier than you feel. He raises an eyebrow, leaning back against the table. Delivering, he repeats, tasting the word. You know what this town is, don't you? San Vito isn't just sun and sea. It's ours, always has been. You shift in your seat, the chair groaning under you. His words stir something, a memory of stories you've heard, whispers of Italy's underworld, the mafia, the familia, a shadow stretching back centuries. You've read about it, maybe seen it in movies, but here, in this cramped room, it feels real, alive, like a pulse beneath the town's surface. San Vito, like much of southern Italy, has long been a place where power isn't just in city halls or police stations. It's in the hands of men like Riccardo, men who call themselves uomini d'onore, men of honor. The mafia, born in the 19th century, grew from Sicily's soil, where landowners and bandits forged alliances to control the land, the trade, the people. The Cosa Nostra, they called it, our thing, a brotherhood bound by loyalty, silence, and blood. Their code, omertà, demanded silence, even in the face of death. To speak was to betray, and betrayal was a debt paid in full. In towns like this, the mafia was more than crime. They were mediators, protectors, kings without crowns. When governments failed, when wars tore Italy apart, the familia filled the gaps. They settled disputes, lent money, kept order, at a price. By the time you arrived in San Vito, the mafia had evolved, their hands in everything from olive oil to secrets no one dared whisper. The Cosa Nostra, the Camorra in Naples, the 'Ndrangheta in Calabria, they all cast long shadows, their roots deep in Italy's heart.
You feel that history now, sitting in this room. The man before you, with his weathered hands and piercing eyes, is part of that legacy. He doesn't wear it like a badge, but it's there, in the way he moves, the way he speaks, the way the town bends around him. The man leans forward, his elbows on his knees. They call me Matteo, he says, finally giving you a name.
And you, amico, are either very brave or very foolish to be here. He taps the box, the sound sharp in the quiet room. Do you know what this is? You shake your head, your mouth dry. Matteo's lips twitch, not quite a smile. Smart, he says. The less you know, the better. He stands, pacing slowly, his shoes clicking on the hardwood floor. But you're curious, aren't you? Everyone is, their first time.
You don't answer, but your eyes flick to the box. What could be so important? Money? Documents? Something worse. You've heard stories of the mafia's trade, smuggling, extortion, deals made in blood. In the 1980s, the Cosa Nostra fought brutal wars, leaving bodies in Palermo's streets. Judges, police, even their own turned against them, only to pay the ultimate price. Men like Giovanni Falcone, a magistrate who dared challenge the mafia, became legends and martyrs. Their deaths, you recall, only strengthened the Familia's grip, their power woven into Italy's fabric. Matteo stops pacing, his gaze pinning you. You're not one of Riccardo's usual runners, so why you? Why now? I don't know, you admit, your voice barely audible. I was just in the wrong place. He laughs, a low, dry sound. There's no wrong place in San Vito, only the place you're meant to be. He picks up the box again, turning it in his hands. This, he says, is a key, not to a door, but to something bigger. You don't need to know what, just know it's important to the Familia.
The word familia sends a chill through you. You've heard it before, in old films, in news reports about trials and arrests. The mafia isn't just a gang, it's a family, bound by loyalty deeper than law. In Sicily, the Cosa Nostra built its empire on trust and fear, each member sworn to protect the other, to keep omertà at all costs. You're an outsider, a tourist, yet here you are, holding a piece of their world in your hands. Matteo sets the box down and pours himself another glass of wine. You did your part, he says. You can go. But as you stand, relief flooding you, he adds, for now. You pause, the words sinking in. Luca steps forward, opening the door. Move, he says, his tone sharp. You follow him back into the hallway, the air cooler but no less heavy. The receptionist doesn't look up as you pass, her book still open. Outside, the sun is lower, painting the sea gold. San Vito looks the same, but you feel different, marked by what you've done. As you walk, the history of this place presses against you. The mafia's roots run deep, not just in San Vito, but across Italy. In the 18th century, when Sicily was a land of feudal lords and starving peasants, the mafia rose as a shadow government. They offered protection, settled scores, and took what they wanted in return. By the 20th century, their power stretched beyond Italy, their hands in global trade, some legal, most not. The Cosa Nostra, with its rigid hierarchy of bosses, capos, and soldiers, became a legend, feared and revered. But it wasn't without cost. The 1980s and 1990s saw the Maxi trials, where men like Falcone and Paolo Borsellino brought hundreds of mafiosi to court. They exposed the Cosa Nostra's inner workings, its rituals, its betrayals. The mafia struck back, bombing cars, killing judges, showing the world their reach. Even today, in quiet towns like San Vito, their influence lingers, hidden behind cafe smiles and closed doors.
You feel that now, walking beside Luca. He's part of this world, a soldier in a war you can't see. The box you carried was a small piece of something larger, something that binds men like Ricardo and Matteo to a legacy of power and blood. Luca leads you back toward the town center, his pace slower now. The streets are busier, filled with tourists snapping photos and locals carrying baskets of fish. You want to believe it's over, that you've done your part and can return to your vacation. But Luca's silence tells you otherwise. He stops at a small fountain, its water trickling into a stone basin. "Wait here," he says, scanning the crowd. You sit on the fountain's edge, the cool stone grounding you. The box is gone, but its weight lingers, a reminder of the line you've crossed. You watch Luca light a cigarette, the smoke curling into the air. He's younger than you thought, maybe your age, but his eyes are old, hardened by things you can't imagine. A man approaches, short and stocky, his shirt untucked. He whispers something to Luca, who nods, his face tightening. You catch a word, traditore, traitor. Your stomach twists. The mafia's history is littered with betrayals, men turning on their own for power or survival. You've read about dipentiti, informants who broke omertà to save themselves, only to live in hiding, hunted by their former brothers. Is that what's happening now? Is someone watching, waiting to strike?
Luca flicks his cigarette away and turns to you. "Change of plans," he says. "You're not done yet." Your heart sinks. "What do you mean?" you ask, standing. He steps closer, his voice low. "Ricardo wants you at the villa. Tonight. There's a problem." He doesn't elaborate, but his eyes dart to the crowd, as if searching for a threat. "Come on." You want to refuse, to run, but the memory of Ricardo's smile, Matteo's words, keeps you rooted. The villa. You've heard of places like that, hidden estates where mafia bosses hold court, where deals are made and fates decided. In the 1970s, bosses like Totorina, the beast of the Cosa Nostra, ruled from such places, their orders rippling across Sicily. You're no boss, no soldier, but you're being pulled deeper, a pawn in a game you don't understand. Luca leads you through the market, past stalls of olives and fresh lemons. The smells are intoxicating, but they can't drown out your fear. A woman selling flowers smiles at you, her eyes kind but fleeting. You wonder if she knows, if everyone in San Vito is part of this shadow world. The mafia, you recall, thrives on loyalty, not just from its members, but from the towns they control. Silence is their currency, and you're spending it now.
The villa is on the edge of town, a sprawling estate
hidden behind high walls and olive trees. The sun is setting, casting long shadows across the road. Luca stops at a wrought iron gate, punching a code into a keypad. The gate creaks open, revealing a gravel path lined with cypress trees. The villa looms ahead, its white walls glowing in the dusk, its windows dark. Luca turns to you, his expression unreadable. "Stay close," he says, "and don't touch anything." You nod, your mouth dry. The gate closes behind you, the sound final, like a door sealing your fate. The villa's grounds are quiet, save for the chirping of crickets and the rustle of leaves. You follow Luca, the gravel crunching under your feet, each step taking you deeper into the mafia's world, a world born centuries ago, forged in blood and silence, and still alive in the heart of San Vito. You stand at the edge of something vast, something ancient. The mafia's history is a tapestry of loyalty and betrayal, of power won and lost. In rooms like the one you're about to enter, men have shaped Italy's shadows for generations. You're just a tourist, a stranger in their world, and yet here you are, carrying their secrets. Close your eyes, let the night wrap around you. The villa waits, its doors open, its truths hidden. What comes next? Rest now, and let the story carry you deeper into the shadows of San Vito.
You step onto the gravel path, the crunch beneath your shoes loud in the evening stillness. The villa looms ahead, its white walls glowing under the last rays of the sun. Luca walks beside you, his boots steady, his eyes scanning the shadows. The gate clangs shut behind you, sealing you inside this hidden world. San Vito's charm, the sea, the cafes, the laughter feels far away now. Here, in the heart of the Familia, only silence and secrets reign. The air smells of olive trees and dust, a dry warmth that clings to your skin. The villa's windows are dark, but you feel watched, as if the walls themselves have eyes. Luca leads you toward the entrance, a heavy wooden door carved with vines, worn by time. Your bag feels light without the box, but its absence doesn't ease the knot in your chest. Riccardo's words echo in your mind. If you do it right, you sleep soundly, amico. You wonder what right means in a place like this. Luca knocks once, twice. The door opens, revealing a man in a black shirt, his face hard and unreadable. He nods at Luca, barely glancing at you, and steps aside. You cross the threshold, the cool air inside brushing your face like a whisper. The foyer is grand but faded, marble floors scuffed by years, a chandelier dripping with dust. A staircase spirals upward, its banister gleaming in the dim light. Somewhere deep in the house, a clock ticks, steady and relentless.
"Follow me," Luca says, his voice low. You trail him through a corridor lined with old portraits, their faces stern, their eyes following you. You wonder who they are, ancestors, bosses, men who shaped this world. The mafia, you know, is more than crime. It's a legacy, passed down through blood and oaths. In Sicily, The Cosa Nostra built its empire on family, each member bound by rituals as old as the island itself. You're an outsider, a stranger, yet here you are, walking their halls. The Cosa Nostra, born in Sicily's olive groves, is a brotherhood forged in secrecy. In the 19th century, when Italy was a patchwork of kingdoms and chaos, men banded together to protect their own. They called themselves mafiosi, a word rooted in defiance, in honor. Their rituals were sacred, a prick of blood, a burning saint's card, a vow of omerta, silence above all. To join was to die to the world and be reborn in the familia. Bosses, known as capi, ruled like feudal lords, their word law. Capos and soldiers carried out their will, while associates like runners or informants danced on the edges, never fully trusted. By the 20th century, the Cosa Nostra was a shadow empire, its hands in everything: land, politics, trade. They smuggled, extorted, and killed, but they also built schools, fed the poor, won loyalty. In towns like San Vito, they were untouchable, their power woven into daily life. You feel that now in the villa's quiet, in the weight of every step. This isn't just a house, it's a fortress, a place where the mafia's past and present collide. Luca stops at a set of double doors, their wood polished to a sheen. He knocks, and a voice calls from within, "Avanti!" Luca pushes the doors open, revealing a study lit by a single lamp. The room smells of leather and tobacco, its walls lined with bookshelves. A large desk dominates the space, papers stacked neatly beside a glass of amber liquid. Behind the desk sits Signor Riccardo, his silver hair catching the light, his smile as sharp as ever.
Amico, he says, rising. You made it. His tone is warm, but his eyes are cold, assessing. He gestures to a chair across from the desk. Sit. We have much to discuss. You lower yourself into the chair, its leather creaking under you. Luca stays by the door, his arms crossed, his scar a faint line in the shadows. Riccardo pours 2 glasses of liquor, grappa, you guess, from its sharp scent, and slides one toward you. Drink, he says. It steadies the nerves. You take the glass, the liquid burning your throat as you sip. Riccardo watches, his fingers steepled. You did well at the marina. Matteo was satisfied. But your day isn't over. Your stomach twists. I thought that was it. I delivered the box. Riccardo chuckles, leaning back. One task is never it, amico. Not in our world. He pauses, swirling his drink. You are useful, more than you know. And tonight I need you again. You set the glass down, your fan trembling slightly. What do you need? You ask, dreading the answer. Riccardo's smile fades, his face hardening. He says, there's a problem. Someone in San Vito isn't loyal, a traditore, and you are going to help us find him.
Your breath catches. A traitor. You recall the mafia's history. Betrayal is their deepest wound. In the 1980s, men like Tommaso Buscetta, a high-ranking mafioso, broke omertà, testifying against the Cosa Nostra in the Maxi trials. His words sent hundreds to prison, shattered families, sparked wars.
The mafia hunted pentiti like him, their vengeance swift and merciless. To be near a traitor now, to be part of this hunt, feels like stepping into a fire. Why me, you ask, echoing your earlier question. I don't belong here. Ricardo leans forward, his voice low. Because you're nobody, he says. No ties, no history. No one suspects a tourist. You see things we don't, hear things we miss. He taps the desk, a ring clinking against the wood. Tonight, you'll go to a meeting. You'll listen, and you'll tell me what you hear. You shake your head, panic rising. I can't. I don't know how. You will. Ricardo cuts in, his tone final. Or San Vito becomes your home, permanently. The threat hangs heavy, its meaning clear. You've read about the mafia's reach, disappearances, bodies found in olive groves, warnings carved in blood. Refusal isn't an option.
Luca steps forward, handing you a small notebook and pen. Write down names, he says, what they say. Don't miss anything. His eyes lock on yours, a warning in their depths. You take the notebook, its weight another burden. Ricardo stands, smoothing his jacket. The meeting is at the old warehouse by the docks, he says. Luca will take you. Be invisible, amico. The familia is watching. He pauses, his smile returning. Do this right, and tomorrow you're free, a tourist again. You nod, though you don't believe him. Freedom feels like a dream, slipping further with every step. Luca gestures to the door, and you follow, the notebook heavy in your hand. The study's warmth fades as you re-enter the corridor, the portrait's eyes still tracking you. You wonder if they were like you once, outsiders pulled into the familia's web, their choices stolen by men like Ricardo. The mafia's world is a maze of trust and treachery. In the Cosa Nostra, loyalty is everything, but suspicion is its shadow. Every boss, every soldier knows the cost of betrayal. In the 1990s, after the Moxie trials, the mafia tightened its grip, rooting out pentiti with ruthless precision. Men like Salvatore Riina, the Beast, ordered killings from villas like this, their power unchallenged until their own turned. Rituals bound them, initiation ceremonies where blood was spilled, oaths sworn over flames. But even those couldn't stop the cracks. Today, the mafia is quieter, subtler, but no less deadly. In San Vito, the familia still rules, their meetings hidden in warehouses, their justice swift. You feel that history now, walking toward the docks. The notebook in your pocket is a tether to Ricardo's world, a world where words can kill. You're no mafioso, no soldier, but tonight you're their eyes, their ears, a role as dangerous as any.
Luca leads you through the villa's grounds, the night air cool against your skin. The sea is louder here, its waves crashing against the cliffs below. You pass a fountain, its water glinting under the stars, and a garden where roses climb stone walls. It's beautiful, but the beauty feels hollow, a mask for the villa's truths. A black car waits at the gate, its engine idling. Luca opens the door, gesturing you inside. The leather seats are cold, the car smelling of polish and smoke.
Luca slides into the driver's seat, his movements precise. "Don't speak until I tell you," he says, starting the engine. The car rolls forward, the gate opening silently. The drive is short, the town's lights blurring past. San Vito is quiet now, its cafes closed, its streets empty save for stray cats and flickering lamps. The docks appear ahead, a cluster of warehouses silhouetted against the sea. Luca parks near the largest one, its walls rusted, its windows boarded. "Stay close," he says, cutting the engine. You step out, the sea's salt tang sharp in your nose. The warehouse looms, its door ajar, a sliver of light spilling onto the gravel. Voices drift from inside, low and urgent. Luca leads you to a side entrance, a rusted gate half hidden by crates. "Inside," he whispers. "Find a place to hide. Listen. Right."
Your heart races, but you nod, slipping through the gate. The warehouse is vast, its air damp and heavy with the smell of fish and oil. Crates are stacked high, forming narrow alleys. You crouch behind one, the notebook in your hand, your pen trembling. The voices grow clearer. A group of men gathered in the center, their faces lit by a single bulb. You peer through a gap, your breath shallow. 5 men stand in a circle, their suits rumpled, their gestures sharp. One, older, with a bald head and thick glasses, speaks rapidly, his hands waving. "We can't wait," he says. "They're closing in. We need to act." Another, younger, with a gold chain glinting at his neck, shakes his head. "You're paranoid, Enzo. Ricardo trusts us. We stick to the plan." You write their names. Enzo, the older man, the younger one, unnamed. Your pen scratches softly, the sound loud in your ears. You glance at Luca, hidden nearby, his eyes fixed on the group. The notebook feels like a bomb, each word a risk. The men argue, their voices rising. You catch fragments, shipments, dates, a name you don't recognize. You write it all, your hand cramping. The mafia's world, you know, thrives on control. Shipments like these, drugs, weapons, or worse, fueled the Cosa Nostra's rise in the 1970s, their network stretching from Palermo to New York. You're witnessing a piece of that now, a deal that could shift power in San Vito. Suddenly, a new voice cuts through. "Enough!" It's Ricardo, stepping into the light. The men fall silent, their faces tense. He's calm, his suit pristine, but his presence shifts the air. "We're here to settle this," he says. "Someone's talking, and I'll find out who."
Your blood runs cold. You duck lower, the notebook pressed to your chest. Ricardo's eyes sweep the room as if he senses you. You hold your breath, the warehouse's damp air stinging your lungs. The familia's justice, you recall, is unforgiving. In the 1990s, bosses like Giovanni Brusca killed without hesitation, their bombs tearing through Sicily. You're no traitor, but in this world, suspicion is enough. You crouch in the shadows, the notebook heavy with secrets. San Vito's night wraps around you, the sea's rhythm a distant comfort. Ricardo's voice lingers, a promise of truth or ruin. You're deeper now, tangled in the familia's web, a web spun centuries ago,
still strong. Close your eyes, let the waves carry you. The warehouse waits, its secrets yours to keep, for now. Rest, amico, and let the story guide you into the night.
You crouch behind the crate, the warehouse's damp air clinging to your skin. The notebook in your hand trembles as you scribble names and words. Enzo, shipments, betrayal. Signor Ricardo stands in the circle of men, his voice a blade cutting through their arguments. Someone's talking, he says, his words heavy with promise, and I'll find out who. His eyes sweep the shadows, and for a moment you swear they linger on your hiding place. Your breath catches, the pen frozen in your grip. Luca is nearby, hidden behind another crate, his silhouette barely visible. His eyes meet yours, a silent warning to stay still. The warehouse feels alive, its rusted walls and creaking beams holding secrets older than you. San Vito's docks, you realize, are more than a fishing hub. They're a lifeline for the familia, a place where crates hide more than fish, where the mafia's power flows like the tide. The men in the circle shift, their faces tense. Enzo, the older man with glasses, adjusts his tie, his fingers nervous. "We're loyal, Ricardo," he says, his voice thin. "You know that." The younger man with the gold chain, Vito, you've heard him called, nods, but his eyes dart to Enzo, sharp with doubt. Another man, silent until now, steps forward, his broad, his face scarred, his voice low. "What about the new guy?" he says, glancing at the group. "The one asking questions."
Your heart stops. The new guy. They can't mean you, can they? You're just a tourist, a stranger pulled into this by chance. But Ricardo's head tilts, his expression unreadable. "Interesting," he murmurs. "Keep talking, Marco." Marco shrugs, his scar twisting in the light. He's been poking around, talking to the fishermen, asking for shipments. The others murmur, their voices a low hum. You write Marco in your notebook, your hand shaking. Fishermen, shipments. You haven't spoken to anyone, but the accusation feels like a noose tightening. The docks have always been the mafia's arteries. In the Cosa Nostra's golden age, the 1970s and 1980s, Sicily's ports were gateways for their empire. Heroin flowed from Turkey to America. Crates marked olive oil, hiding millions. Bosses like Michele Greco, the Pope, controlled these routes, their wealth rivaling nations. But power bred paranoia. Every deal, every shipment carried the risk of betrayal. The familia lived by omerta, but whispers of pentiti, informants, haunted them. Men who spoke to police, like Contorno or Calderone, brought down empires, their words sharper than bullets. In San Vito Lo Capo, the docks are quieter now, but the game remains. Trust is rare, and loyalty is tested in blood. You feel that history here, in the warehouse's shadows. The men before you aren't just criminals, they're heirs to a tradition, bound by codes you'll never fully grasp. Your notebook, filled with their words, is a dangerous bridge between their world and yours.
Ricardo raises a hand, silencing the group. Enough speculation, he says. We deal in facts. He paces, his shoes clicking on the concrete. The shipment arrives tomorrow. If it's compromised, someone in this room is responsible. His gaze lingers on Enzo, then Vito, then Marco. The air crackles, thick with unspoken accusations. You shift slightly, your knee brushing the crate. A small pebble skitters across the floor, the sound tiny but piercing. Marco's head snaps toward you, his eyes narrowing. "What was that?" he says, stepping away from the circle. Your heart pounds, your body frozen. Luca's hand grips his jacket, his posture tense. Ricardo pauses, his head tilting. "Problem, Marco?" he asks, his tone deceptively calm. Marco scans the darkness, his hand hovering near his waist. "Thought I heard something," he mutters. He takes a step toward your crate, his boots heavy. You press yourself lower, the notebook clutched to your chest. The bulb overhead flickers, casting jagged shadows. You pray the darkness hides you, your breath shallow, your pulse a drum in your ears. Luca moves silently, slipping to another crate, drawing Marco's attention. "Probably rats," Luca calls, his voice casual but edged. "This place is crawling with them." He steps into the light, his hands visible, empty. Marco hesitates, then snorts, turning back to the group. "Better be rats," he says, but his eyes linger on the shadows.
Vito speaks, his voice smooth but cautious. "The buyer's ready. We just need the goods." He glances at Enzo, a challenge in his eyes. Enzo adjusts his glasses, his face pale. "The goods are secure," he says. "I checked myself." Ricardo nods, but his smile is thin. "Good. Then we have nothing to worry about." He claps his hands, the sound sharp. "Go. Prepare. Tomorrow we finish this." The men disperse, their footsteps echoing. Marco lingers, his eyes scanning the crates one last time before leaving. Ricardo stays, lighting a cigar, the smoke curling like a ghost. You wait, your muscles aching, until Luca signals you to move. You slip from your hiding place, the notebook damp with sweat. Luca leads you to the side entrance, the night air a shock after the warehouse's stale heat. The sea glitters under the moon, its rhythm steady, almost soothing. But your mind races, the notebook burning in your pocket. Enzo's nervousness, Vito's confidence, Marco's suspicion. Who's the traitor? And why does Ricardo trust you, a stranger, with this task? The mafia's world is a chessboard, every move calculated, every player watched. In the 1990s, after the Maxi trials, the Cosa Nostra went underground, their operations subtler, but no less ruthless. Bosses like Bernardo Provenzano, the Phantom, ruled from hiding, their orders carried by notes, never phones. Today, in places like San Vito, the mafia blends into the everyday. Fishermen, shopkeepers, even priests play their part. Shipments like the one you've heard about keep the familia alive, their profits funding a shadow empire. But with each deal comes risk, and traitors are the deadliest threat. You're holding their secrets now, a stranger in their game, and the board is shifting beneath you.
Luca drives you back to the villa. The car's hum, the only sound. The notebook rests in your lap, its pages filled with names and fragments. You glance at Luca, his profile sharp in the dashboard's glow. "What happens now?" you ask, your voice quiet. He doesn't look at you. You give Ricardo the notebook. Then you wait. His tone is flat, but there's something beneath it. Resignation, maybe, or fear. You wonder what Luca's seen, what he's done to earn his place. The mafia, you know, the man's sacrifice. Soldiers like him live on the edge, their lives tied to their boss's whims. In the 2000s, when arrests gutted the Cosa Nostra, men like Luca became rarer, their loyalty priceless. The villa appears, its walls stark against the night sky. Luca parks, leading you through the gate, past the fountain and roses. The house is quiet, its windows glowing faintly. You enter the foyer, the chandelier's light softer now. Luca takes you to the study, where Ricardo waits, his back to you, staring at a painting. A stormy sea, waves crashing against cliffs. "Amico," he says, turning. His smile is gone, his face etched with fatigue. "What did you hear?" He gestures to the desk, where a fresh glass of grappa waits. You sit, the notebook heavy in your hand. You hesitate, knowing your words could damn someone, maybe yourself.
You open the notebook, reading aloud. Enzo's nervousness, Vito's confidence, Marco's accusation about the new guy. Ricardo listens, his fingers drumming the desk. When you finish, he leans back, his eyes distant. "Interesting," he says, "very interesting." You shift, uneasy. "Who's the new guy?" you ask, unable to stop yourself. Ricardo's gaze sharpens. "A question," he says, almost amused. "You're learning, amico." He stands, pouring himself a drink. "The new guy is a problem. Someone who doesn't belong, like you, perhaps." His words chill you, but his smile returns, softening the blow. "But you're useful, for now." He takes the notebook, flipping through it. "You've done well," he says. "But there's one more task tonight." Your heart sinks. "A delivery," he continues. "Small, simple, to a friend in town. Luca will drive you." You want to protest, to beg for release, but Ricardo's eyes stop you. "What kind of delivery?" you ask, your voice barely audible. He hands you a sealed envelope, its paper thick, unmarked. "Give this to Maria at the cafe," he says. "She'll know what to do." Maria, the cafe owner from this morning, her kind eyes hiding something. You take the envelope, its weight another chain. Luca steps forward, ready to lead you out. Ricardo stops you at the door. "Be careful, amico," he says. "San Vito is full of eyes." His words linger as you leave, the study's warmth replaced by the night's chill. The envelope feels alive, its contents a mystery, tying you tighter to the familiar. You sit in the car, the envelope in your lap, San Vito's night a blur outside. The mafia's history weighs on you, centuries of power, betrayal, and silence. You're no soldier, no boss, but tonight you're their messenger,
carrying secrets through a town that never sleeps. The sea whispers, a lullaby for the weary. Close your eyes, let the night hold you. Maria waits, the envelope waits, and the familia watches. Rest now, amico, and let the story carry you deeper into the shadows. You sit in the passenger seat, the envelope in your lap, its paper smooth but heavy with secrets. Luca drives in silence, his hands steady on the wheel, his scar a faint line in the dashboard glow. San Vito's night wraps around you, the town's charm, its cafes, its sea, now a distant memory. The villa's warmth, Ricardo's sharp smile, and the notebook's weight linger in your mind. You are no longer just a tourist. You're a messenger, a pawn in the familia's game, and every move feels like a step toward the cliff. The envelope is unmarked, but its presence burns. Maria, the cafe owner with kind eyes and flour-dusted hands, waits for it. You remember her from this morning, her warm "Buongiorno, amico," her quick glance at Ricardo's table. Did she know then, as you sat with your espresso, that you'd end up here? The mafia, you've learned, hides in plain sight, its threads woven into San Vito's fabric. Maria, like the fishermen, the shopkeepers, the priests, might be more than she seems. Luca turns onto a narrow street, the car's tires humming against cobblestones. The cafe appears ahead, its sign unlit, its windows dark. A single lamp flickers above the door, casting shadows that dance like ghosts. Luca parks, cutting the engine. "Go," he says, his voice low. "Give it to Maria. Don't linger."
You nod, your throat tight. The envelope feels alive, its contents a mystery, tying you to Ricardo's world. You step out, the night air cool, smelling of salt and damp stone. The sea's rhythm is faint, a whisper beneath the town's silence. You glance at Luca, his eyes fixed on the street, scanning for threats. You wonder what he sees in the shadows, what he's learned in a life bound to the familia. The cafe's door is unlocked, creaking as you push it open. The air inside is warm, scented with coffee and baked bread, but the tables are empty, the chairs stacked. A single light glows behind the counter, where Maria stands, wiping her hands on an apron. Her hair is tied back, her face calm but alert. "You're late," she says, her voice soft but firm. Her eyes flick to the envelope, and you realize she's been expecting you. Women like Maria have always been the mafia's silent strength. In the Cosa Nostra, men hold the titles capo, soldato, consigliere, but women are its backbone. Mothers, wives, sisters, they keep the familia's secrets, passing codes in whispers, hiding money in kitchens. In the 1990s, women like Ninetta Bagarella, sister of a boss, ran operations when men were jailed. Some, like Maria, work on the edges, their loyalty as fierce as any soldier's. The mafia's reach, you see, now, isn't just in docks or villas. It's in places like this, where a smile hides a truth older than San Vito itself. The Cosa Nostra's empire stretches far beyond Sicily. By the 1980s, their network spanned continents, funneling billions through banks in New York, London, Zurich.
They laundered money, smuggled arms, and shaped politics, their influence a shadow over governments. Today, they're subtler, their deals hidden in legitimate businesses, cafes, hotels, construction. Maria's Cafe, you suspect, is a thread in that web, a place where messages pass, where the familia's pulse beats.
You step forward, holding out the envelope. From Ricardo, you say, your voice steady despite the tremor in your chest. Maria takes it, her fingers brushing yours, cool and deliberate. She doesn't open it, just slips it into her apron pocket. Sit, she says, gesturing to a stool at the counter. It's not a request. You hesitate, glancing at the door. Luca's car is still outside, its headlights off. You sit, the stool creaking under you. Maria pours a glass of water, sliding it across the counter. You're tired, she says, her eyes studying you. It's a long day, no? You nod, unsure what to say. The water is cold, grounding you, but her gaze is unsettling, like she sees more than you want. What's in the envelope, you ask, the question slipping out before you can stop it. Her lips twitch, almost a smile. You don't learn, do you? She says, leaning on the counter. In San Vito, questions are dangerous. You did your job. That's enough. Her tone is kind, but there's steel beneath it, a reminder of the familia's rules. You recall the mafia's code, omerta, the vow of silence. Even women like Maria live by it, their loyalty carved into their bones. She straightens, her hand resting near her pocket. Ricardo trusts you, she says, her voice lower now. That's rare, but trust is a blade. It cuts both ways. Her words chill you, echoing Ricardo's threats, Luca's warnings. You're useful, but usefulness has a limit, and you're nearing it.
The door creaks behind you, and you turn, heart racing. A man steps inside, his face half hidden by a flat cap. He's lean, his hands in his pockets, his eyes darting to Maria. "All clear?" he asks, his voice rough. Maria nods, her expression unchanged. "Clear," she says. The man glances at you, his gaze lingering too long. You recognize him, Vito, from the warehouse, his gold chain glinting in the light. Your stomach twists. Why is he here? You wrote his name in the notebook, noted his confidence, his glance at Enzo. Is he the traitor, or is he watching you? "New guy," Vito says, stepping closer. "You're everywhere tonight." His tone is light, but his eyes are cold, probing. You grip the counter, your pulse loud in your ears. Maria watches, silent, her hand still near her pocket. "I'm just delivering," you say, echoing your words to Matteo. Vito smirks, leaning against a table. "Delivering," he repeats, tasting the word. "Funny how you keep turning up. Cafe, marina, warehouse, busy tourist." Your mouth goes dry. He knows about the warehouse. Did he see you? Hear you? You recall the pebbles skittering, Marco's suspicion. The mafia, you know, thrives on paranoia. In the 1980s,
Bosses like Salvatore Riina killed for less. A glance, a rumor. Vito's smile feels like a trap, and you're caught in it.
Maria breaks the silence, her voice calm. Enough, Vito, she says. He's done his job. Let him go. Her words are firm, a shield, but Vito doesn't move. He tilts his head, studying you. Ricardo's got a soft spot for strays, but strays don't last. He steps closer, his breath sharp with tobacco. What did you hear at the warehouse, amico? What did you write? Your heart stops. The notebook. It's in your bag, its pages damning. You shake your head, forcing calm. Nothing, you say. I was there to listen. Vito laughs, a low, dangerous sound. Listen, he says. Sure. He reaches for your bag, his hand quick, but Maria's voice cuts through. Vito, she snaps, her tone like a whip. He freezes, his hand inches from you. Leave it, she says. Ricardo's orders. Vito's eyes narrow, but he steps back, his smile gone. Fine, he says. For now. He turns to Maria, his voice low. Tell Ricardo the shipment's on track, but he needs to watch his back. He glances at you one last time, then leaves, the door swinging shut. You exhale, your body trembling. Maria watches you, her expression unreadable. You're lucky, she says, pulling the envelope from her pocket. She taps it against the counter, thoughtful. Vito's restless. He thinks he's next in line, but the familia doesn't reward ambition. Not like that.
Her words spark a realization. Vito's confidence, his challenge to Enzo, his presence here. Could he be the traitor? You recall the mafia's history. Power struggles tore the Cosa Nostra apart. Men like Toto Riina rose by betraying their bosses, their ambition a blade in the dark. Is Vito planning the same? And if he suspects you, what does that mean for your safety? Maria slips the envelope into a drawer, locking it with a small key. Go, she says, her voice softer now. Luca's waiting, and be careful. San Vito's guys never close. She turns away, busying herself with a cloth, but her warning lingers. You stand, legs unsteady, and head for the door. The night air hits you, sharp and salty. Luca's car is still there, its engine idling. You slide inside, the envelope gone, but its weight still pressing on you. Luca glances at you, his eyes searching. Done? He asks. You nod, unable to speak. He drives, the town blurring past, shuttered shops, flickering lamps, the sea's endless hum. You lean back, the leather seat cool against your skin. Vito's words, Maria's warning, Ricardo's trust swirl in your mind. You're deeper now, tangled in a web spun centuries ago, a web where loyalty is a lie and trust a trap. The mafia's history is a dance of ambition and betrayal. In the 1970s, men like Luciano Ligio climbed over bodies to lead the Cosa Nostra, their hunger for power sparking wars. Women too played their part, silent but vital, carrying messages, hiding guns, keeping the familia alive. Today, the mafia is global, their money clean in banks,
their deals masked as business. But in San Vito, the old ways linger. Meetings in warehouses, envelopes in cafes, traitors in the shadows. You're part of that now, a stranger carrying their truths. Vito's eyes, Maria's words, Ricardo's trust, they bind you to a legacy you can't escape.
The car stops at your hotel, a modest building overlooking the sea. Luca turns to you, his face half lit. "Get some sleep," he says, his voice rough but softer than before. "Ricardo will call tomorrow." He pauses, as if weighing his words. "Don't trust anyone, amico, not even me." You stare at him, his scar a stark line in the moonlight. Is he warning you or testing you? The mafia, you know, thrives on doubt. In the 2000s, when bosses like Matteo Messina Denaro ruled from hiding, trust was a luxury no one afforded. Luca's words feel like a lifeline or a noose. You step out, the hotel's lights warm but distant. The sea's rhythm fills the air, a lullaby for a town that never sleeps. You enter your room, locking the door, the notebook heavy in your bag. You collapse on the bed, the ceiling fan spinning above. Vito's smirk, Maria's key, Ricardo's smile, they haunt you, pieces of a puzzle you can't solve. You close your eyes, the sea's hum pulling you toward sleep, but questions linger. Is Vito the traitor, or is he baiting you? What did Maria lock away? And what does Ricardo want next? You're not free, not yet. San Vito holds you, its shadows deep, its secrets deeper. For one day you've walked with the familia, and the night isn't over.
You wake to the sound of the sea, its rhythm steady, pulling you from a dream of shadows and whispers. Your hotel room is quiet, the notebook on the bedside table a silent reminder of the day you've lived. San Vito's night clings to you, Ricardo's sharp smile, Maria's locked drawer, Vito's cold smirk. The clock reads just past midnight, but sleep feels distant, chased away by the familia's grip. You're no tourist now. You're something else, something you don't yet understand. You sit up, the bed creaking, and reach for the notebook. Its pages hold fragments of the warehouse meeting, Enzo's nervousness, Marco's suspicion, Vito's challenge. Luca's words echo in your mind. Don't trust anyone, amico, not even me. The mafia's world, you've learned, is a maze of lies, and you're lost in it. You close the notebook, your fingers lingering on its cover, and wonder what dawn will bring, freedom or another task. A soft knock at the door startles you. Your heart races as you stand, the floor cool against your feet. "Who's there?" you call, voice low. "Luca," comes the reply, muffled but unmistakable. You hesitate, Luca's warning replaying, but open the door. He stands in the hallway, his scar stark in the dim light, his jacket rumpled. "Get dressed," he says, his voice urgent but quiet. "Ricardo needs you, now."
You swallow, fear rising. "What's happened?" you ask, pulling on your shoes. Luca's eyes flick to the corridor, scanning for listeners. "The shipment," he says. "It's early, and there's trouble." He doesn't elaborate, but his tension is palpable. A soldier caught in a storm. You grab your bag, the notebook inside, and follow him into the night. The mafia's power thrives in darkness, in moments like this. The Cosa Nostra, once rulers of Sicily's streets, adapted to survive. In the 2000s, bosses like Matteo Messina Denaro, the Ghost, used technology, encrypted phones, coded messages to evade capture. They hid billions in shell companies, their money clean in global markets. But law enforcement fought back. Operations like Gota in 2008 cracked their networks, seizing assets, jailing capos. Yet the Familia endures. Their shipments, drugs, arms, secrets, still flowing through towns like San Vito. Tonight, you're part of that flow, a stranger carrying the mafia's fate. The Cosa Nostra's modern face is subtle, their violence quieter but no less deadly. They bribe officials, rig contracts, control ports. In San Vito, the docks are their heart, and a shipment's failure is a wound no boss can ignore. You feel that now, walking with Luca, the night heavy with the Familia's legacy.
Luca leads you to the docks, the same warehouse looming ahead, its rusted walls silver under the moon. The sea's crash is louder here, a restless pulse. A black van waits nearby, its engine off, two men standing guard. They nod at Luca, their faces hard, their hands near their jackets. You recognize one, Marco, his scar twisting as he watches you. Your stomach knots. His suspicion at the warehouse, his glance at your crate feels fresh, dangerous. Inside, Luca says, pushing open a side door. The warehouse is darker now, lit by flashlights, the bulb overhead dead. Crates are stacked higher, some pried open, revealing plastic-wrapped bundles you don't dare name. Ricardo stands at the center, his suit pristine despite the hour, his face etched with fury. Enzo is beside him, glasses fogged, hands ringing. Vito leans against the crate, his gold chain glinting, his smirk gone. You, Ricardo says, spotting you. His voice is calm, but his eyes burn. Come. You step forward, the notebook heavy in your bag, Luca's presence a shadow at your back. The air smells of salt and oil, thick with tension. We have a problem, Ricardo continues, his gaze sweeping the group. The shipment's short. Someone tipped the buyer. Someone here. The men stiffen, eyes darting. Enzo mumbles, impossible, but his voice shakes. Marco's hand twitches, his scar stark in the flashlight's beam. Vito says nothing, his face unreadable. You recall the mafia's history. Shipments are their lifeblood, and betrayal is their poison. In 1993, when boss Salvatore Riina was arrested, his empire cracked because of leaks. Ricardo's hunt for a traditore feels like that, a war brewing in this damp, shadowed space.
Ricardo turns to you, his voice low. Your notebook, amico. Read it. His command is a blade, and you're caught on its edge. You pull the notebook from your bag, its pages trembling in your hands. The men watch, their silence louder than the sea. You read.
Enzo's nervousness, Marco's accusation, Vito's challenge to Enzo. Each word lands like a stone, the warehouse shrinking around you. When you finish, Ricardo nods, his eyes on Vito. You had much to say, Vito, he says, about Enzo, about trust. Vito straightens, his jaw tight. I was protecting us. Enzo's been sloppy. He checked the shipment himself. Enzo steps forward, his face pale. Lies, he shouts, voice cracking. I've served you for years, Ricardo. Vito's the one pushing for the deal, rushing us. Marco snorts, his scar twisting. He says, the new guy's the problem. He points at you, his finger a gun. He's been everywhere. Cafe, marina, here, writing it all down. Your heart stops. The notebook feels like fire, burning you from the inside. I'm just doing what Ricardo asked, you say, voice steady despite the fear. Ricardo's eyes flick to you, assessing, then back to the group. Enough, he says, raising a hand. The truth comes now. He pulls a phone from his pocket, its screen glowing. Our buyer sent a message, he says, his voice ice. They know our count before we loaded. Only someone here could have told them. He taps the screen and the voice plays, distorted but clear. The shipment's light. You're playing games, Ricardo. The men freeze, their faces masks of shock or guilt. Ricardo's gaze locks on Vito. You met the buyer's man last week, he says, in Naples. Care to explain? Vito's eyes widen, his smirk gone. That's a lie, he says, but his voice wavers. I was arranging the drop, like you said. He steps back, his hand brushing his jacket. Marco moves, quick as a snake, grabbing Vito's arm. Easy, Marco growls, his scar livid. You step back, your back against the crate, the notebook clutched tight. Luca's hand grazes your shoulder, a silent signal to stay still. The mafia's justice, you know, is swift. In 2006, when boss Bernardo Provenzano was caught after decades in hiding, his betrayer vanished, a lesson to all. Vito's fate feels sealed, and you're witnessing it. Ricardo steps closer to Vito, his voice low. You thought you could rise, amico, but the familia doesn't bend for greed. He nods to Marco, who tightens his grip. Vito struggles, his face twisting. It's Enzo! He's been talking to the cops. Enzo gasps, his glasses slipping. No, Ricardo, I swear! His words cut off as Luca steps forward, his hand raised. Quiet, Luca says, his voice a command. The warehouse falls silent. The seas crash, the only sound.
Ricardo turns to you, his eyes unreadable. One last task, amico, he says, pulling a small key from his pocket. Take this to Maria. Tell her it's done. He hands you the key, its metal cold, its purpose a mystery. You nod, your throat tight, and slip it into your pocket. The notebook, the key, the envelope, their chains binding you to San Vito's shadows. Luca leads you out, the warehouse's air heavy behind you. Vito's shouts fade, cut off by a door slamming shut. You don't look back, don't want to know what comes next. The van's men watch you leave, their faces stone. The night is cooler now, the moon high, the sea a silver mirror. Luca drives, his silence heavier than ever.
The mafia's justice is ancient, unchanging. In the 2010s, as police cracked down, the Cosa Nostra adapted, using apps, drones, even cryptocurrencies to shield their deals. But their core remains loyalty, silence, punishment. Bosses like Denaro, still at large, rule from the shadows, their orders carried by men like Luca, women like Maria. San Vito's docks, like Sicily's ports, are battlegrounds where trust is tested and traitors fall. You've seen that now, the Familia's blade, and it's marked you, a stranger in their world.
The cafe is dark when you arrive, its sign swaying in the breeze. Luca stays in the car, his eyes on the street. You knock, the key heavy in your pocket. Maria opens the door, her apron gone, her hair loose. "You," she says, her voice soft but unsurprised. She steps aside, letting you in. The cafe is quiet, the air still warm with coffee's ghost. You hand her the key, your voice low. "From Ricardo," you say. He said, "It's done." Maria's eyes flick to yours, searching, then to the key. She takes it, her fingers steady, and nods. "You've seen much tonight," she says, slipping the key into a drawer, the same one as the envelope. "More than most." Her tone is kind, but there's weight in it, a recognition of the line you've crossed. "What's the key for?" you ask, unable to stop yourself. She smiles, faint but real. "Some doors stay locked," she says. "For your sake, leave it that way." She pauses, her hand on the counter. "You're free now, amico. Go, sleep. San Vito won't forget you." You nod, relief mingling with doubt. Free. The word feels fragile, like glass ready to shatter. You leave, the cafe's warmth fading, the night's chill wrapping around you. The Lucas car is gone, the street empty. You walk to your hotel, the sea's hum your only companion. The notebook stays in your bag, its secrets yours to carry or bury.
You reach your hotel, the sea's lullaby filling the air. The mafia's world, born in Sicily's dust, grown in silence, releases you, but its mark remains. Ricardo's key, Maria's smile, Vito's fate, they're yours now, shadows in your memory. You've lived one day in the Familia's grip and survived. The notebook rests, its pages still. San Vito sleeps, its secrets safe. Close your eyes. Let the waves carry you. Tomorrow you're a tourist again. Or are you? Rest, amico, and let the story fade into the night.